my name's Carol Williams and I'm the National Drama Advisor for Scottish Community Drama Association. So, you've chosen your monologue. You know what it's about and you believe you can play this character. So you want to start acting, right? Stop. Press pause. There are some really good questions that you could ask yourself before you get to that point. I'm going to pose them in this video. Now you don't have to do all of them, but the more you create the world of your character and the backstory, the more choices that you'll have when it comes to your performance. So don't just limit yourself to what you need to know. So the first big question, who am I? Here we're thinking about age, family, friends, key relationships. Am I a sociable person? Am I somebody who prefers to be on their own? Am I somebody who has one or two intimate friends? What kind of education have I had? Do I have any strong political views? What about my ethics? What would be completely unacceptable to me? What about my life experiences? Have there been any major events in my life? How do I talk about myself? How do I talk about others? These are just some examples of the questions you can ask yourself to answer that question, who am I? Question number 2. Where am I? So here, you might think about the level of comfort. If I'm seated, am I in a sofa? Am I comfortable? Or am I on a rather hard, uncomfortable seat? Am I in a public place? Or am I in a private place? The way you speak, the kind of conversations you have are very different. Can I be seen? Do I feel invisible in a public place? Being on a bench in a park would have a very different feel to being in a crowded cafe. If I'm indoors, is it familiar? Is it my own home or is it somewhere else? Am I near a window? If I am, what can I see out of that window? What's the weather like? If I'm indoors, is there anybody else in the building? Might someone walk in at any moment? These are all really good questions to ask yourself when you're considering your location. Question number 3. What has just happened? Now, generally, we don't just burst into a monologue for no reason. So it's quite important to establish what's just happened. What's been the catalyst for you to start speaking? Is it something that's just happened? Maybe a couple of days ago, a week ago? But what is it? Is it something someone said? Is it an event? I find it very useful to create dialogue and, if necessary, a scene to establish what's happened just before I started speaking. If you have that dialogue, you can run it through in your head before you start speaking, or you could speak the words out loud and edit them afterwards. The advantage of this is there is a different energy for your very first line. It's very clear that there's a reason for you to start speaking. Question number 4. Who am I speaking to? Now, quite often people will say to me, but this is my inner thoughts, I'm just talking to myself. This is a common theatrical device. It's used frequently in Shakespeare. I find it doesn't translate quite so well to a filmed monologue. So my advice is create a character, Create another person that you can directly speak to. That helps you connect with the camera, which will help you connect with the audience. Ask yourself that question. Who am I speaking to? Now we move into the key acting questions. Firstly, what do I want? What is my objective? So when we talked before about why am I speaking, this goes to the next level. We all have wants, hopes, needs, desires. They are the things that motivate us to take action, to speak. So what does your character want? It could be forgiveness, retribution, understanding. I'm sure you can come up with plenty of your own wants and needs and objectives for your character. Playing with these can be so interesting when it comes to working on your monologue. Ask yourself the question, what do I want to change as a result of speaking these words? That's how you define your objective. So you've defined your objective. Now we're looking for that dramatic conflict. This is when we think about barriers. What are the barriers to me getting what I want? Now they could be practical, they could be people, situational. It could be that it's not practical for me to confront somebody, or it's impossible for me to actually resolve this with that person. I need to find some other way to resolve this. It could be emotional. What are my emotional barriers? What's holding me back from achieving this objective? This is really key when you're looking for the drama in your piece. What do I want? What's going to stop me getting what I want or what I need? They are your barriers. So you have defined an objective or objectives, perhaps. You have thought about the barriers, the things that are going to stop you. Now we're moving into the final stage, and that's looking at how are you going to do this. This is commonly known as tactics. Now, I think some of you will be thinking this is getting very complicated. So I'm going to try and simplify this as much as I can. The first thing I'm going to say is we do this all the time. We want things, and without really thinking about it, we employ a tactic to try and get what we want. The example I'm going to give you, we're going to play with this, is someone has made a beautiful cake. It's not really for you, but you really, really want to taste this cake. So you're going to have to think about different ways to try and persuade the person who's made the cake to give it to you. And the limitation here is you just have one line that you're allowed to use, and that line is, please can I have a piece of cake? Now the different tactics you could use is you could say that and try and persuade somebody. You could say it and try and intimidate them. Maybe flirt with them, seduce them. Perhaps try entertaining them. Or you could try blackmailing them. You get the picture. These are used on a daily basis by all of us. What we need to do when it comes to acting is pull them out and make conscious decisions and put them into our piece. So these are your tactics. And I think try some that are not obvious. This is the best way that you can prevent your monologue having one tone, one emotional state through the whole piece. They can be so much fun to work with. So, lots to think about, but hopefully enjoyable. I really hope that you found some of the hints and tips in this film useful. I wish you lots of luck. Enjoy.